Hey, what's going on, everybody? Another one coach's opinion, and I thought about it, and I said to myself, it wouldn't be right if I didn't honor the memory of Muhammad Ali and at least what I learned from him and what in his career, and you know, rest in peace, Ali. I mean, you are an icon to almost every sport, even for those that didn't play. Like somebody said this morning, the Jordans, the LeBrons, the Iversons, they all were willing to make statements in their career because of Ali. He set the pace, you know what I'm saying? He didn't get in where he fit in. He made you make space for him, and I can respect that, you know. The way I coach, I would say, I've modeled a lot of my guys after him as far as the footwork and the movement. I mean, the dazzling footwork. I mean, I don't really teach the shuffle and stuff like that, but I knew what he was doing and where he was coming from with his footwork and the way he kept a lot of people off balance with his footwork. And the way he surprised a lot of folks, like Sonny Liston, because they were used to that stand still, stand in front of you, trade, you know what I'm saying, walk it down, we're heavyweights type style that he didn't give. I mean, he had speed, and he might not have been the most powerful heavyweight, but he had a lot of power, and as far as hitting without getting hit, I love that style, and he did it very well early in his career when he was able to do it, and his career has sacrifices. Like some of these guys are saying, man, and I haven't had a fight in 6-7 months. Ali went 3 years without a fight. Went 3 years without a fight and came back. And he wasn't the same Ali, but he wasn't bad still, If those 3 years would have took place, I mean, the world would have been in for a serious treat. That's all I'm saying. I'm not knocking his career when he came back. I'm just saying I was young, but even if I could look back, I wonder what would have happened with those 3 years that he missed out on because of the draft, when people were going to war. And a lot of you young fighters can learn from. It's not just that, the business aspect of Ali, you know what I'm saying, the relationships of Ali that kind of sort of got in the way sometimes of what he was trying to do. The ups and downs with him and Malcolm X. There's a lot of history in Ali that a lot of people don't really touch on. But the ups and downs with him and Malcolm X and the Nation of Islam, and the real story of what went on. There's plenty of books out there that you can catch. It's one book by Thomas Howes I read, and that was a pretty good book about the story of Ali's life, and Ali had something to do with that. But that was a very interesting book, and and money wise, business wise, Ali, you could see the dealings and why he dealt with and why he didn't deal with Don King in such a way. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, Don King was involved in some of the business, but he never had papers on Ali. Ali just, okay, you can promote this, but I'm my own entity. You're your own entity too. And you can look at some of the business deals that Ali blew because trying to help everybody. And some of you young fighters need to know you're not going to be able to help everybody. There are people, if you want to be a boxer, professional, and you want to go somewhere with your career, there are certain people that you're going to have to distance out of your life. You don't have to cut them off, but you're going to have to keep a distance, and they might not agree. When they don't agree, you might have to cut them off. Ali didn't want to cut a lot of people off. If Ali could make you any money, he didn't understand some of the business side of it, so some people that he tried to help end up hurting him in the end, especially with some of these big clothing deals, some of these big Kentucky Fried Chicken deal that he missed out on because he helped the guy out. You know what I'm saying? Just read up on some of the stuff that Ali went through. It wasn't just, hey, I can throw punches, I can do this, but it was things he signed that he shouldn't have signed. Things that he didn't have people around him he didn't know. I mean, we're in an era, he was in an era where he was creating this type of business. You know what I'm saying? Fighters weren't making what they were making when Ali came along. You know what I'm saying? Ali was monetary wise, he was the Floyd Mayweather of that era, where he was showing, hey, look, there's millions to be made, and Ali still didn't really have the business sense to make these decisions. So it's a lot you really can learn from Ali and what he went through, you know, as a fighter. As a fighter, if you have not bothered to pick up some books on Muhammad Ali, then you're blindsiding yourself. And there's also a book out, it's really good for fighters, man, to read. It's called The Life and Crimes of Don King. They had a movie about Don King, it was sort of based on that. But if you read it, and you know, I'm not bashing Don King, somebody else wrote this, but you can see the business side of how this works, how the boxing world works, you know. And you can see how Ali, you know, Ali, a short story where Ali, he said he was walking into a place and Don King was with him, and it was either Leon Spinks or Ken Owen. It was one of the old fighters had came to this event, and they weren't doing so well. He said Don King had like 9 limousines out front, and the guy was like, "Hey Don, you know, you think I can get a ride home?" And Don King replied, he used the word, "I didn't bring you here." And Ali said he looked at Don King and realized, man, you made millions off this guy. You got 9 limo drivers sitting out front doing nothing until we finish, and you won't even get this guy a ride home. And he said that was one of the reasons he didn't want to do too much business with Don King, because he saw how he treats you afterwards. You know, you got 9 limousines out there, and you can't tell one of these guys that's on the payroll already to take this guy up the street, because it was in his hometown. I forgot who. It makes me actually want to read that book again, you know. But man, you know, like I said, shout out to Ali. Shout out what he's done for boxing. Shout out what he's done for sports in general. In general, letting you know that just because you're great at one thing doesn't mean you don't have a voice all over the world. That, you know, some people might not even follow you as far as your boxing career, but they follow you as your life career. And how he went to like Africa, and people just welcomed him, man. You know, wherever he went, he was just welcome. It was like he was the guy that was just saying, man, you know, I hate to put it like this, he was just saying no to the white man, you know what I'm saying? And no to people that try to put chains and bonds on him, and not slavery wise, but just trying to limit what he could do. He was just saying no to him, and the world loved him for it, man. You know, some of the stuff might have hurt him, but in the end, when he died, the world wept. I mean, you know, I watched Prince pass and Michael Jackson pass, and you know, I respected their lives, but I don't know, maybe because just I'm in this field, it was just something about when Ali passed that it gave you a feeling of sadness and a feeling of joy, because I just said, now this man can rest, you know, because he looked tired for a long time, and he just wanted to go on and he knew he had a place in the world, and he probably felt like, I think Ali, he probably felt dying would hurt the world more than hurting himself. But you know, rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? He had a beautiful life from what you can see on the outside. I know everybody has their inside things, but a beautiful life. He had a world of people that loved him. You know, and I didn't think I should just go on without doing a one coach's opinion about Muhammad Ali, and letting you fighters know, man, you need to brush up on your knowledge of this man and knowledge of what he went through, and it might save you a little hurt and heartache yourself, you know, knowing what this guy went through. Just don't watch the Will Smith movie, because they put in what they could in 2 hours. I'm not blaming them, but you can't tell his whole story in 2 hours, and they left you to guess a lot. So pick up a book, man, and read about Ali. Like I said, I think it was like the Life and Times of Muhammad Ali by Thomas Hauser. You know, I'll try to find it and maybe post it, but this was a great book on Ali's life, you know what I'm saying? And Ali has something to do with this book, so it's not just a guy looking on the side and writing about it. So, you know, pick up this book if you can, man, and get updated on Ali, man. Not just YouTube and what you hear, but learn about Muhammad Ali and the history of this man and everything he went through. All right, one coach's opinion. Rest in peace, Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest that ever did it, if not the greatest that ever did it. One coach's opinion, man. Shout out to the family. You know, I hope you get through this hard time, because this is somebody I know is going to be hard to forget and hard to forget that it's not there anymore. So rest in peace, Muhammad Ali. Rest in paradise. Love you, brother.